It's Martin and Alex outside the Etihad on Derby Day for Blue Moon Rising TV.
Feeling good. A little bit tense. Atmosphere's pretty good, but Derby Day, isn't it? Never 100%.
Hark now hear the city sing, but will United run away from this lineup? Joe Hart in goal, Gael Clichy, Mangala, De Michaelis. Left we have Sanya. Fernando is not in today. It's Fernandinho and Yaya in the middle. Silva, Navas and Sterling. And the main man up front, Sergio Aguero. Happy with that team?
Delighted. I think the only surprise, obviously, no Otamendi at the back. That is obviously a big hit. He was someone you think we'd bang up for a derby. But beyond that, it's a strong team. Fernandinho and Torre are enough there to defend, look after the back four, and then Silva, Sterling, Navas can run right towards the front.
Are you worried about the centre-half partnership? It's been talked about all week. Obviously, when Vinny went down, I don't think there was... It wasn't only Blues, I think, that the hearts fell. The guy's a footballing guy. He personifies everything that's great about this club. But obviously, we're going to miss him now for a good, what looks like maybe the rest of the season. Mangala, it's got to be his time to step up, surely.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for Mangala, I think, to kind of prove his worth. We know Mangala's a good footballer. Technically, Mangala is capable. He's not a bad footballer by any means. But it's just how he fits into the side. And personally, I think with De Michaelis, to marshal him, I'm not too confident because De Michaelis hasn't got the football brain, is that fair to say, of a Premier League centre-half. So I'm looking at that, and that is a worry. But United going forward are pretty toothless this season. And if we're ever going to play United, now's the time to play them. And I'm hoping those back two don't get too exposed, with Fernandinho able to kind of give them that little bit of support. Clichy and Sanya have both been in wicked form all season. So hopefully, massive fingers crossed, we'll be all right. What about you?
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot rests on our centre-half partnership for sure. But I think if we look at our midfield, Fernandinho and Yaya, on the day, they're the best in the Premier League. But we've got to see it going forward as well as off the ball. That's my slight concern. Does Yaya really want to come back towards our goal as much as he wants to go forward when we have the ball? Having said that, it's about time that players like Mangala stood up, and definitely Raheem Sterling. We need a big game from Raheem over the cross this next month. I mean, if we get a win today, it really sets us up well going. That PSG draw, people are saying it's a difficult one. For sure it is, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think Sterling's a big one. I think Sterling definitely needs to perform for us today. I said in the week I wouldn't start Sterling because I think in the big games, he is still young. We forget that he's only 20, and we forget that it's a lot of weight to put on his shoulders, and sometimes all the pressure does get to him. I think we saw that in the cup final. So I would have started him on the bench, bring him off the bench, let him cause some havoc, and kind of at 70 minutes, the last thing that United want to see is kind of that young, creative attacking player. But he's starting. It's a big ask for City. I think we need a lot of character. You want your English players on the team. You're looking at the Joe Harts, the Fernandinhos, Sergio's, just to kind of rally around and make sure that everyone knows how important this game is and really get a result today.
Thinking of Sergio and David Silva, some people have been saying slightly off form, both of them, not at the top of their A game at the minute, which I think is a fair point. Is it a game today? I mean, they've never really gone missing in derbies before. They know what it means to us as City fans for sure. David Silva's dictated many a derby. I'm praying that the real David Silva comes back to form today, even though he's only just been off the boil. But when Merlin's at his best, we tend to win, don't we?
Yeah, I think as well. I don't like this whole idea that David Silva's not performing, because I think he is. It's just set such a high precedent for himself, is that we expect gold dust every game. And he is coming back from an injury, and I don't think we shouldn't rely on Silva as much as we do. But it'd be great if he pulled out of the bag today, though, wouldn't it?
I think so. Well, I think at Norwich, there was no protection offered at all for David Silva. He was kicked off the park first 25 minutes and out of the game. I see him getting a little bit more at our home, I hope. I'm not sure who's refereeing today. But ultimately, it's Derby Day. Michael Oliver, somebody shouts from behind the camera. Well, if it's Michael Oliver, I'm trying to think, has he got a good reputation with us?
I think Michael Oliver's an alright referee, but he does like to play centre stage. And around the world, there's going to be 500 million people watching today. And that is a big centre stage for Michael Oliver to... I hope people can hear me through the camera over the massive Pepper Army lorry that's about to interrupt filming. There we go. Who said football's not corporate?
Brandon, Blue Moon Rising TV. But I think with David Silva, you're exactly right. I think it's not been a case that he's dropped massively off form. I think there's a number of players that just quite aren't at that title-winning best, which is fair to say at this point. hence our league position at this point. But today really needs to be a marker that we lay down, not only in our home city, but ultimately in the Premier League as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think what's weird about this game as well is this probably neither side are confident. We're sitting there going, oh, what about our defenders? And United are going, oh, we can't score goals. So it's one of these where we go, actually, neither side are really sure. We're not. And the irony of it is, as well, is the disparity between the two clubs in our favour has not been this big for like decades, where we can go and go, actually, man for man, we've probably got a much stronger squad than United. So we should. Let's do them. Let's do them. Let's smash United today. Let's do them. Let's move ourselves up the league, go a point behind Arsenal, and suddenly all this nonsense about us not finishing fourth out the window.
One final note on the managers, Manuel Pellegrini, Louis van Gaal. What do you think in terms of your overview for their manager?
I think Van Gaal's probably in his last derby. Is that fair to say? And I think Pellegrini, it'd be great to see him send off. I still think Pellegrini, he's an honourable bloke, isn't he? He's someone that people like. He's hard to dislike, Pellegrini, in his persona. And let's give him a good send off. Let's remember Pellegrini for smashing his own 6-1. Well, the 6-1 was to Mancini. Let's do one today.
Prediction.
6-1.
My prediction is Manchester City 3, United 1. I think it's going to be a tense affair. You know what a derby day is like, Blues. At the end of the day, can you really enjoy it until you know you've won and then watch it on Match of the Day and still sit there from behind the couch? Because that's the type of game it is. It's one to be endured, not to be enjoyed. But let's hope we enjoy it today. Come on, City. Blue Moon Rising TV.